daylight this morning. We just have not been able to seal the deal. I mean, shy of killing one, it doesn't get any closer. I mean, one time we were within probably 45 yards of a bird with 3 hens, just not a clear shot. Couldn't seal the deal on that one. He escaped. We don't even know where he went. We came farther east throughout the day and we got to a big piece of public, and we made a loop down one big planted wheat field and tried to get boots on the ground. We jumped a hen up, didn't see any gobblers, nothing responded to us. We drove up the road a little bit. We were trying to find an area or find some birds to roost for in the morning. Tomorrow's our last day, and this is literally like the last area where the road ends, and we were going to turn around and head out, try to find somewhere to sleep for the night. And I spotted 2 birds back in this wheat field behind us. The top edge up here is private, and those birds were right on the private public line when we spotted them. They were probably 600-700 yards out. So we drove down the road, parked, and walked down the property line through some gnarly timber and tall grass. We belly crawled for a good ways, and those birds, I don't know if you can see this little island of trees out there, and where the wheat ends and the broom grass begins. Those birds filtered right out that little knoll in that transition of that broom grass. And there's a little levee road rise about 70-80 yards out here in front of us. And those birds came right up that little levee road. And Nathan can probably point out, we were right at the top of that levee road up there. Those birds worked all the way up to about right here. I don't know if we can zoom in on that tree, but they turned in at that tree, and we were laying on our bellies. And it was probably, we hadn't walked it off, but it's about 75 yards roughly. I mean, it doesn't get any much closer than that. Spot them from 700 yards out, and they come all the way across this field. We guessed right. We just needed that extra 30 yards or so. They filtered across this little flat spot and back behind the camera into this public area. I don't suppose they're going to go far in the morning, so this is right where we'll be in the morning at sunrise, waiting for him to gobble and just hope that we can intersect him and make the last morning in Kansas the last hunt a successful one. Turkey hunting. Morning. It's May 3rd, Monday. This is our last day out here doing scouting and some turkey hunting. We're back at the spot where we almost got that gobbler last night, and we know the little block of timber that he's roosted in. It's a pretty good little setup. It's surrounded on 2 sides by water, and it's really thick back over here to the west. Not to say that they won't go that way, but we found a really good little opening and a pinch point into some. I'm going to back up into some cedars, and there's a private land field right here with a weed in it, and that's where those birds were working from yesterday into this block of timber around roost time. So we picked out the trees we're going to set up against. We can shoot all the way across this little inlet field where that pinch point is. So it's a final morning. We got till about lunchtime, and then we got to head on over to Kansas City to turn in a rental car and catch a flight. So it's a final set for us in the Midwest. Double fingers crossed. we get one of these big pretty turkeys, and we found a bunch of good land and spots to deer hunt this fall. So here we go. Well, we're wrapping up our Nebraska, Kansas trip. So we had like it was a 3-day trip basically. We flew into Denver and started out in Nebraska, and then moved down through Kansas, and we're flying back out of Kansas City this afternoon. It was a short trip. The main focus of this trip was to scout for this fall for a mule deer hunt and a combined whitetail hunt, hopefully in Kansas. We applied for non-resident tags in the month of April, so hopefully here in the next week or so we'll know if and where and what unit we drew in Kansas. So that being said, we covered almost 1,000 miles in this 3-day trip. So it's been non-stop, just a few hours of sleep each night. We camped out in the old rental car minivan here 2 nights. We decided to get a hotel last night because we needed a bath and a good night's rest, but we didn't get an opportunity to really hunt for any extended time in any of the spots that we hunted at, because again, mainly we were scouting access points and scouting for deer sign, both mule deer and whitetail. So unfortunately we were empty-handed on this one. We didn't get a bird, but boy, we came close. We got we had 3 gobblers that were really close to wearing one of our tags. 2 of those 3 were super close. Just how it goes. Didn't come into the right opening. Not a clear ethical shot. And the other one, he just needed to make about 10 more yards, wide out in the open, just a little too far for shotgun range. But we had 4 jakes come in on us this morning to about 15 yards. If one of them would have been a long beard, story might be a little different. But at the end of the day, we had a blast. We marked tons of spot access and sign for this fall. So hopefully, we'll get on some good deer activity come this fall, and we'll have plenty of footage to share. It was a successful hunt in our eyes, even though we taking our tags home in our back pockets, not on a turkey leg, but we saw tons of footage, and we had a blast. We'll be back at this game come next year somewhere out here in the Midwest again. So we're on the road, Kansas City bound. We're gonna find us some good Kansas City barbecue before we fly out, and maybe we'll get a good 2.5 hours sleep on the plane.